everyone. Again, thank you for joining. And this is Khyati Mehta, your host for today. And I am working as a global lead talent initiator Salesforce at SmartBridge. I am passionate about driving innovation and creating meaningful conversations around technology that empowers people and businesses. Whether it's Salesforce, I truly believe in the power of technology to bring the change. And today's session is a perfect example of that. Joining me is someone I genuinely admire for his deep insights and practical expertise, Rohan Singh. Rohan is a visionary leader and seasoned product manager with a strong background in SaaS and customer centric solutions. He brings years of experience in building impactful products and currently has a lot of innovative initiatives that bridge the gap between intelligent technology and real world customer needs. His ability to simplify complex concepts and translate them into strategies that improve customer engagement is what makes him stands out in the industry. So everyone buckle up because today's conversation is going to be packed with value, real world examples and forward thinking insights that you don't want to miss. So let's get started. Thank you again for joining us today. Over to you, Rohan.
Cool. So we'll be talking about why Salesforce AI agents are the next big thing in customer experience. And before we begin, let me know if you have actually worked on the Salesforce AI agents, agentforce aspects, and in which stage are you in the journey? Are you implementing customer projects? Are you still learning about it from Salesforce documents, having theoretical understanding, or are you also going on trailhead trying some of your personal projects? So, yeah, let's get started then. Okay, so this is me. I work as a Salesforce consultant at Neuroflash. I'm an active community group leader for Salesforce, Slack, and a couple of other communities. And this is my QR code. If there are any questions or anything you want to discuss after the session, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. And I won't spend much time in this, so let's get started. So this is just a statement that I found, and that Mark Benioff, who is the Salesforce's co-founder and CEO, mentioned in 2024, and about agentforce, where he expressed his excitement about the change that it could bring in the overall industry. And now we are seeing that there is a race amongst all of the technical companies on who can actually master the AI agents and cement their place in this technology as the go-to provider. The benefit that Salesforce has as compared to the other companies is that there is a lot of data that Salesforce is working with on a day-to-day basis in sales, service, marketing, and commerce domains. So naturally, it's a good fit to implement AI agents on top of it. So the outputs can be grounded. So like when we are talking to any generic AI tools, it gives us generic responses, but the quality of the data and the accuracy of the data is how we can measure how well the agent is performing and what is the benefit and the ROI of it. Right. So I know like we have a mixed audience, so we'll be covering some of the basic part of what is actually agent force because I'm sure many of us may not be aware of it. And for the people who are actually working on it, we'll discuss a few use cases and how it is actually the next big thing and why is there is so much buzz, marketing and talks around the same. Okay. Yeah, so these are some of the examples that I could think of over the top of my head on the various types of AI agents that are there in the Salesforce ecosystem. And when Salesforce Agentforce was introduced, we could build our agent from scratch, but now Salesforce is also providing out of the box agents that you can simply activate and customize according to your needs. So we have agents for service, sales, marketing cloud, commerce, a lot of different areas along with industries, healthcare, financial services. So for all of these different domains, whatever use cases we can think of can be uh, helped and solved by the AI agents. It is not that it will totally replace the uh, job that we are doing as humans, but it will help us to focus our attention on more important or pressing matters, and we can offload a lot of our work to AI agents. In fact, for example, let's take a simple example of Service Cloud, or let's say a customer support agent. So take an example like when we are having a rest time, like we are having a Diwali sale in India, or let's say Cyber Monday sale in the US and elsewhere. So at that time, there is a lot of demand uh, by the customers on shopping sites. So usually what happens is companies tend to hire a lot of contractual workers or human agents, and they train them on some of the uh, uh, FAQs or the questions about the products, and most of the questions can be easily handled by an AI agent. For example, we are like, suppose if we want to know like the tracking details of my order, so either I can reach out to the customer support and I can check with them like where is my order, so they can interact with us. But this is a simple query that can be handled by the agent by using flows or code or anything at the backend to provide us helpful responses. And if the customer wants to maybe edit their order, or maybe like make changes to the delivery date or any such thing that requires human intervention, then that particular interaction can be sent to the human agent instead of the AI agent. But the initial few rounds of discussion can be handled by the AI agent, where the customer is asking for a simple uh, question, FAQ, and something that can be easily handled. Right. So similarly, we can find a lot of areas in all of these domains. Like product recommendations is also one such thing. That suppose if we just give a prompt to an agent on the website that I like, suppose it's uh, like a car company and you want a new car, so you can mention like what is your budget, what is the engine capacity you're looking for, how many seats it should have, like is it an like do you have requirements for off-roading or not. And similarly, you can be provided with product recommendations. So this is how these easier tasks can be efficiently managed by AI agents. And we'll see how an agent is different than a simple bot and how the transition has been. But these are some of the examples of AI agents that I could think of. But there are a lot many, and if you have any such use cases or examples, you can feel free to drop them in the chat, or maybe we can have a discussion after the end of the session. Okay. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. So we have all been seeing a lot of different advancements in technology. So the first wave we saw was of predictive uh, technology, where like the models or the tools had access to the data from the past, and they could predict how the behavior will be in the future. Then we had co-pilots and bots. So how they perform is like we can give them instructions, specific instructions, and give them the logic. Like if customers asks about their product, so you give them this response. But those are not super intelligent and cannot work on their own. So like they cannot reason and think of what the next response would be. But currently we are in the third wave, where we are seeing an abundance of use cases that we just discussed on AI agents and how it is like creating so much movement in the technical space. Like and you can see the example as well, like how Waymo outlasted the competition and made robo taxis a real business. It is not in India, but I've seen a lot of my friends who are in San Francisco. So when they go into Waymo, which is a driverless cab, so it's a really weird experience, but different one as well. That is actually uh, like helping the humans to go do some other jobs, and they are able to do the job by themselves. Like the taxi can take you from point A to point B, navigating through a lot of obstacles, traffic lights, and other things, and making sure that you are having a safe journey. So, this is what we are doing with AI agents as well. I have worked on a couple of use cases, a customer project. So, there are still lots of areas that we are currently working upon. But yeah, this is how the technology is progressing. And the next waves, and we are seeing it in action as well, will be of robotics and artificial general intelligence. Some people say that we are already there, and some argue, but yep, it will be a topic for maybe another session. For now, let's focus on AI agents and how it can be the next big thing. Let me also keep mind of the time. Okay, so yeah, so why, like, first of all, I think we need to understand why is there a need for AI agents and why our current ways of working like is not productive or how it can be improved. So first of all is the expectations. So now as we are moving from like traditional means of buying things to quick commerce, for example, we need quicker responses, quicker resolutions, and one person's needs can be widely different from another person's needs. So the solutions should be quick, instant, and personalized. And we are also using a lot of different channels. Like some of us want to like talk over phone, or someone wants to use chat or web application. Or yeah, so there are a lot of different channels. So it is important that whatever solution we have, so that is instant, it is super personalized. Like we don't want uh, like robotic or like pre-filled responses to our questions. Like suppose if we want like if we have raised a customer case and we want to res- have a resolution, we expect that the other person or the other agent should have all the necessary information, so we don't have to tell about our problem again and again to multiple people, and then have robotic responses and a lot of civil sharing to have the answers. So we want quick, instant, personalized answers. So that is one. And second is complex journeys. So uh, like as compared to how things used to work before. So suppose like I am a customer and I have purchased a product from, let's say, uh, a commerce storefront, but I'm also interacting with like let's say some FAQ documents, or let's say some marketing emails that I've clicked upon. I'm also interacting with the service folks. So the customer interactions are not linear. So we are not using uh, the option to converse with the other with the company through only single touch point. We are conversing through their various verticals, through various departments and multiple touch points. So it is important that even though we are kind of interacting with a lot of different verticals and domains within a company, but we are actually one customer who are taking a lot of different services. Like how there are like big companies who are offering different services. Like for example, uh, let's say Samsung is one company that is manufacturing smartphones, that is also manufacturing washing machines, fridges, uh, air conditioners. So there are a lot of different areas, and there may be like widely separate departments for them. So we want that even though we are interacting and we are facing issues, let's say with different products, but at least they should have our information, so we do not need to communicate again and again about our problems. Yeah, and second is data overload. So companies, so whenever like we implement some solution, so we know that there will be a lot of data, and the companies are also sure of it. But it is not important like how much volume is there in your data. What matters is uh, how much use can you take out of it. So one of the most important aspects, like when you are implementing, like so I'm talking from the eyes of a Salesforce partner who is implementing such technologies for a lot of different customers. So companies have a lot of data, but the data may not be properly formatted. It may be having some missing values. And suppose the marketing department is using some data, the service department or sales department or the uh, other many departments are using subsets of that data. So that is how these dependencies come in. Like every department has a lot of data to work upon, but they are not using the data in the correct way. So they are not maximizing the use of their data. So that is one thing. And in such projects, if you take them into consideration, so the initial planning and requirement gathering stages take the most of the time, and it's comparatively easier and simpler to implement them once we have everything sorted. But that also takes a lot of time. And last is like something that we have all experienced, that we are all humans. We face pressure, we are tired sometimes, and we do not like to handle repetitive and monotonous tasks. And that's why I think customer service is one such area that has the maximum iteration or maximum turnover. Uh, so I think so that is one thing, because every one of us wants to do some more interesting work. So there is always some discussion that AI is going to take our jobs, but it is not the case. It is going to take some jobs, but it is going to take those jobs that no one may want to do. And it will even help us to focus our time on more important tasks, and even help us in our regular tasks. So I think that is one way to look at it. Okay, so we just covered why there is a need and why the current technical landscape is changing, and what we as customers expect from the company or the solution provider. Okay, and here comes agentforce. So it is not like a pre-programmed bot that can only give you certain responses. It has the ability to think. It has something called as Atlas reasoning engine. So it can also make sure that the responses are accurate and valid. And yeah, so none of the data is shared. And we also have guardrails, so we know like if like someone gives some random questions that the agent is not uh, having the data to answer, so it can guide the person in the right direction and not give absolutely random or wrong responses. And as I mentioned before, now we have a lot of pre-built agents. So now we don't have to build an agent from scratch, and we can make use of those pre-built agents as well. Okay, and I'm not sure if you have seen this interface. So this is called Agent Builder. This is the backend and how it looks like when we are configuring the agent. So we'll talk about different parameters of what makes an agent, like topics, actions, and instructions, and how we can see like how the agent is using different automations and how it is able to generate responses and how it is reasoning as well. Right, and for configuring agents or using agentforce, you do not require a very heavy programming or code based background. It is obviously helpful to have because then you can use that and build code solutions that you can uh, help agentforce to use. But we can make use of a lot of different low code tools that can also power agentforce. Like for example, like we can build custom actions that are powered by flows, prompt builders, and Apex as well. Okay, and as I was mentioning before, so we have pre-built templates for these agents, and we'll go into these like what are the different parameters that you're seeing in front of your screen, the topics and everything. But if there are questions, please feel free to drop them. We'll see if we'll have time to take them. Okay, so in the previous few slides, we understood how the technical landscape is evolving and why it is super important uh, to for the solutions to maintain their pace with them, because as customers, our needs are also changing. So um, okay, so scale without compromise. So as we talked about before, so as humans, we only have limited capacity. But with AI agents, we do not have to worry about scale. Suppose like one AI agent is solving queries or helping, let's say, 100 customers, it will be easier to scale it to, let's say, 500 customers and handle the queries of those customers by simply making sure that all the systems are working fine and to do the relevant performance and load testing. Right, so there is not a lot of different learning that the agent may have to do to handle different queries from a larger number of people as it was handling before. And one more important thing that we discussed before was the lack of the 360-degree view or the unified picture of a customer. Like uh, if I am interacting with one domain of a company, I want to, like, it will be useful if that company will have information of myself. So, like, when I'm talking with a different vertical or a different domain, they have the background and my history as a customer. Right. So, doing this will help to resolve issues much quickly and will also uh, may not be required to share all the information. The agents or the system will already have the context of what we are talking about. Right. And second thing is that mostly we reach out. So we are mostly talking in the customer service scenarios because that was the main theme of the topic. So that's why. So one more important thing is that we mostly reach out to customer support when we are facing any issue. Like for example, we may reach out to Air India or Indigo when we may want to reschedule a flight or cancel a flight, right? And also like we may reach out to Swiggy or Zomato when we have missing items in a order or when the like there is some spillage or anything. But how efficient it will be, like if a company can automatically detect that we have not sent them the right items and they may uh, raise a case or reach out to a customer support due to it. So to handle this, uh, so this is called as predictive customer experience. So the company can proactively reach out to myself or any customer, like, see, your one of the items in your order is mismatched, and they'll be happy to share a different item in that case. So that will uh, eliminate the need for the customer to raise a case themselves, so they won't have to face the struggle of clicking the photo, like, see, I've not received the item, and telling everything about the order to the human agent. So this will be automatically handled, and this will also create a sense of trust and loyalty in the hearts of the customer, and they will want to order more from such a company who's taking care of these things and having a really proactive and predictive customer experience in place, where they themselves reach out when a problem is about to arise before the customer actually creates a case. And this is actually a very premium experience, and we are seeing that some companies are actually adopting it through agentforce. Right, and as we talked before, so no, so I'm not sure. Like, so there may be people who start their jobs as a customer service agent, but I'm sure that no one want to be in that job for a long time. So how AI agents help us? That it frees humans to do the stuff that they actually like. They can learn some more in-demand skills. They can uh, focus on like other teammates helping them, or maybe thinking about strategy and how to move the company forward instead of wasting time in these very manual and repetitive tasks. Right. So the value that agent force provides is that it frees humans from manual repetitive tasks, so that we can focus on more complex and high value interactions. Okay, and it is also cost efficient, as we talked before. Like it is super easy for an AI agent to scale from handling, let's say, 10 queries to more, based on all the systems are working according to the increased load. And compare that to a normal scenario where you have to handle, like where you have to hire 10 more people. So the amount of time and effort that is spent in hiring and training is much more than simply creating more agents to handle more such scenarios, or increasing the topics, or increasing the scope of your already existing agent. Okay, so I think this was the crux of the session. I do have a lot of content that I can share with you, but I think this was an important slide that can help us understand uh, why it is the next big thing, why AI agents are the next big thing, and how it is handling the challenges that we discussed in the previous few slides. Okay, sorry, I'm not able to keep in pace with the questions that are arising. Okay, so let's take a few benefits in consideration one by one, and then we can maybe focus on the use cases, and then I can dive into more technical details and tell like how Agentforce is built upon, like how the architecture looks like. Okay, so the first benefit is hyper personalized interaction. So as we discussed before, like each customer is different, and when we make them feel this way, they feel a lot more valued. Like, I'll be really happy if the uh, support agent, like whether it is human or an AI based agent, has my history from my already done interactions, or my purchases, or from the orders I have done, and it is able to make use of that data to serve me well. So I won't have to spend much time in talking about my problem, and I can spend the time in talking about the solution. So this is called unified customer view, and combined with the data cloud, which is also another of the Salesforce's offering, we can actually have data from a lot of different sources, like as we were talking about, let's say marketing, commerce, sales, service, your Excel sheets, your S3 buckets, your data warehouses. So all of these data can be combined and harmonized, and insights can be taken out, which can be fed to the AI agents, so they can generate relevant, powerful, and helpful responses. Right. So this is how unified customer view is one such issue that a lot of enterprise companies face an issue with, because they do have a humongous amount of data, but they are not able to make use of it. And tailored responses, like when an agent replies with relevant personalized information, we feel a lot more valued, as I was just talking about. And proactive offers, like we talked about proactive and and predictive customer experience. So this also holds true when we are like not only raising a customer case, but when we are wanting recommendations or suggestions. So based on our previous history, our preferences, our orders, so if the system or the agent is able to recommend us better products that I can buy or better services that I can take, then it is very much more likely than I'll purchase those offerings from the company. Right. So proactive customer experience is also big, and and slowly companies are making more efforts to have it in place. And the consistency, like what happens is, like as we are talking with someone over a call or someone from the same department but on emails or on chat, so the experiences can be completely different because it may happen that those teams may be trained different and they may have different access of the data. So it is also important that we make sure that whatever communication we are doing to the customer, so that is very much consistent, because it also helps in building the brand trust and the brand image. So every brand wants to have a consistent image, like they don't want that the customers feel that they represent one thing today and another thing tomorrow. So to avoid all of these discrepancies, so AI agents can also use different channels, like they can send the same responses or similar responses to various channels, eliminating the inconsistency that we generally face with talking to someone over different medium, like let's say WhatsApp, email, phone, and others. So this was one key benefit, and like how AI agents are helping, and which is hyper personalized interactions, because we as humans like when someone has information about us and they are able to make use of it to help us. Second is scalable and consistent support. So we were discussing about these points before as well. So AI agents can handle a very large volume of interactions as compared to humans, and that ultimately impacts the customers, because they won't have to, let's say, wait for 10 minutes and listen to the elevator music or uh, jazz or any such music that we generally are forced to listen to when we are put on hold. So it actually increases our uh, happiness and also our productivity, because we don't have to waste our time in waiting and we can get quicker and more relevant responses. And generally, if you see, for example, let's say for call support, so the human agents generally work from 9 to 6 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. But AI agents do not need breaks, they do not work in shifts, so they can provide you instant support 24 by 7. So regardless of like at which time your flight is, at like let's say in the very early morning or late at night, you can still get proper support, uh, irrespective of your location or your time zone. Right, and if you have been to Trailblazer DX that was held in Bangalore recently, so Salesforce showed a really amazing demo of how Air India is using agentforce to handle customer queries. So I think if you have not watched it, you can see like how it looks in in action in real life. Okay, and I was talking about this point before, so let's not spend much time on it. The consistency in the messaging across a lot of different channels, and then multilingual capability. So that is also one very important aspect, and especially in a country like India, where we have like a lot of different languages, like we're talking in okay, so I think it will be easier if I not name the languages because we have so many. So generally, what happens in a general scenario for a call center or a customer service department, whether it is big or small, so all sorts of people like from different backgrounds make purchases. So some may be comfortable in one language and some may be comfortable in the other language. So if like suppose a person is not comfortable in one language, then they need to be connected with that human agent, the customer service person who can converse in that language. But with Agent Force, we can empower them with multilingual capabilities so they can answer in whatever language the user is comfortable in. And how the language is chosen can be totally automated or can be based on the user's input. Like we can either take the input from the user, or we can also see like if the person's account is in a particular la- language, then the agent can also give the responses in that language. So that is also one big thing. Like if you think about it from a uh, like an enterprise company level scale, it will make a lot of sense. Okay, let's move on to the other benefits. I don't think we have a lot of time. Okay, so third is empowering human agents. So as we were talking about before, that how agent force frees humans to do more important and relevant tasks that are important. Okay, so for that, like if you are handling queries that are related to FAQs or warranty questions or password resets, like small issues that even an AI agent can handle. So then it does not make sense that the humans may need to spend so much time in handling those queries, especially. And suppose there is a need, then the AI agent can call the human agent through a notification or anything, by which the human agent can come into the picture and take the chat from and just take the interaction from them. Right. So that is one thing. And second is real time assistance. Because we as humans need time to go through the case or go through the help articles, go through and contact the product team, contact the engineering team, contact a lot of other teams to get the correct resolution, and then we pass on the re- pass on the resolution to the uh, customer. But in this case, the AI agents already has the relevant information, so it can give the recommendations and the next steps a lot more quicker than we can. And it is especially true for complex scenarios where we need to do a lot of research and need to do a lot of discussions with a lot of different teams. So in that case also, uh, the agent force agents are like super helpful to provide real time assistance. And then it is faster onboarding. So we have discussed this point before, like it is obviously very easy to have a new agent or increase the scope of the agent as compared to training another human on the same tasks. And the focus on complex issues, so as we were discussing, so humans can focus their time and expertise on maybe talking up to more let's say important or more valuable uh, customers or companies. So because they need some personalized human interactions, and those interactions can be not mundane, and they can involve a lot of strategy and planning. So this is the area where humans should be involved, so the AI agents can handle the less important tasks. Okay, so this is the third key benefit, and then we'll move on to the last one, and then we'll move on to some technical details. So proactive customer engagement. So we've also talked about this point a bit. So tracking the past issues, tracking the past customer behavior is what gives us an insight into the future. So this is how basically the predictive models are based upon. So if we have the relevant data in in our hand that the agents can train upon. They can better uh, predict the needs of the customer. They can provide them with better answers and also better recommendations. And we have talked this point before, where the agents can automatically reach out to the customer even before they raise a case themselves. And personalized journeys, we have talked about this as well. And reducing churn, yeah. So yeah, as I was talking about before, so if some company reaches out uh, to us before we reach out to them, then it automatically builds a sense of trust and loyalty in our hearts for themselves. So it's basically creating more ROI for them by implementing such innovative and new solutions. So we have talked about four key benefits: proactive customer support, and empowering human agents to do more important tasks, scalable and consistent support, as well as hyper personalized interactions. So those are the four big things how Agentforce is creating a difference in how we are working in today's world. Okay, so we'll talk about a few real world use cases and then I can take you through the technical aspects a bit. Okay, so we have already talked a bit about the use cases at the very start. So this is one such thing that uh, like AI agents can handle the easier the order status check, like if it has been delivered or in which stage of the journey the order currently is, and the basic troubleshooting. So these are smaller questions, but I feel they comprise 70-80% of the total queries that a normal customer support department receives are for these generic simple FAQ or basic troubleshooting related interactions. So if the AI agents can handle them, then it will free the human agents like almost 60 to 70% of their workload at least. Okay, and the another use case can be uh, re- uh, related to sales, where we can track like who all are visiting our website, and we can see like in like which places they are spending how much time on, which offerings they are clicking upon more, so that like the next time they are on the website or the next time we are interacting with them, we can send out personalized information to them, so they can actually become a customer from a lead, right? And second, and the third is a marketing use case. So if we are confused and we are scrolling the website of a company for a lot of time, but if the uh, the end company already has our information and they know like in which areas we have already raised case upon, or we have already brought some purchases, then the marketing AI agent can give us better product recommendations. And third is field service. So this is something like, for example, in the Indian scenario, let's say like how Urban Clap is providing services, like it is providing a lot of field workers, so they are doing a variety of tasks. So scheduling the appointments and providing the field service operators with all the context to what the problem that they are about to solve, and also self-service options to ourselves, like if we are consistently making use of one service, so then we can also make a schedule uh, with the customer that we have seen that you are booking a particular service, let's say every 2 months, like do you want us to automate it? So it does a lot more than what simple logic based systems can do. It can optimize the scheduling, and it can also empower the field service operators with the right context and the tools. So these are some of the use cases, and there are a lot more use cases in the health side, because like even though we have great and super helpful hospitals, but a lot of their processes is still manual. So there is a big play I feel that will come into this industry where a lot of stuff can be automated and it can be made digital. So and we can find these use cases in a lot of different areas we are uh, working or interacting in our daily life. So these are just few of the examples, and I think
Yeah.
that was okay. So I think I ran past a few of the slides. So these are so we talked about the different attributes of an agent before, like I showed one screenshot. So we can have a variety of agents, and each agent will have these attributes. So first of all, we need to define what role they are playing. Like, are they engaged in customer service interactions or sales or marketing? Like, in which domain are they working upon, and on which specific tasks they can do. And second is the access of the data, like because this is super important where everything is built upon. So we need to make sure that we are providing the relevant data. And then we have topics and actions. So like suppose if we have a service agent, so we can define multiple topics. Like we can define a topic for, let's say, like simple FAQ queries, and then simple troubleshooting queries or product recommendation queries. So these can be the different topics, and there can be different actions. So actions are basically the capabilities that an agent have. So we can either build our own, so we can build our own custom actions, or we can make use of some standard out of the box actions as well. Right. So I'm just touching these topics at a high level. So we don't have the time to go into much detail. And then guardrails. So the data that they should have and the guardrails. So these work hand in hand, because like we don't want to put something in front of the customer that we don't want them to maybe have information upon. So that is why it is very important to set guardrails so that the agent does not uh, like put out any random or incorrect responses. So it is super important to make sure that the agent is trained well, so it can give the responses in a clear and concise manner. And it, like, even after, like, if someone asks some question that the agent is not supposed to answer, then the agent should only make sure that they answer it in a very generic way, and they're not sharing much information because you don't want it to. Right. So this aspect is also very important. And then the channel aspect, like we were talking about emails and chats, WhatsApp and calls and whatever. So it's important, like where these agents can work upon. So it's important to set their channels as well. So role, data, actions, guardrails, and channels are what makes a successful agent. And then I think we have talked about it like in the session, the transitions from these technologies. So I'll not spend a lot of time, but these are some of the slides that I could find from Salesforce. And so see, like what I was talking about before. So so Data Cloud can help to combine all of these different separate clouds and your external data warehouses into one common space of harmonized data that can be used to create a lot of different agents. Right. So it can be possible, as we discussed, that we are interacting with one vertical of a company, but since we have interacting with the like since we have interacted with a lot of different verticals in the same company, the AI agent has the uh, correct context, so it can better serve us. Okay. And we talked about the Atlas reasoning engine, and that is what it like the main thing why it is different from a normal chatbot is that its ability to think and retrieve the relevant data and provide a better response. Like the responses will not sound robotic, it will look like as someone has actually thought of it and has provided a very well rounded response to a query. Okay, so this was just a simple example of how an agent's work, how an agent work on the back end. So like I think we took this example as well, like what is the status of my order. So then the agent will check like what all topics it has, like from the FAQ or the order management or the pipeline management, and it will select the correct topic. Let's say because it is related to the order servicing. So that was an order management question. So it will go into the different actions it has. It will check what instructions it has, and then it will execute them. So it will first fetch the order of the customer, because the like if you can see, we only have the information about the customer, but we don't have the order number. Like the customer has not provided us with any detail. But since we have all the data harmonized with us, we can look up the order. We can check the different actions, whether it is a flow or a prompt uh, or or an Apex custom action, and then it can choose which action to take care, like because it was a simple query, so it has executed the lookup order flow action, and it has uh, run the flow, and it has provided the response that your order has been shipped and it will be arriving in the next 7 days. Okay, so this is like a very high level view, like what we see in the backend when we are configuring the agents in the agent builder. Yeah, I think we'll not go into agent force 2dx uh, because if it was very recently announced, so I will just glide past the slides. I don't want to confuse more, and we have actually covered a lot of content. And this is just one last thing. So the Agentforce Developer Edition was recently announced. So if you want to try out these use cases that we have just talked about, and and you want to see the Agentforce in action, so you can create your own Developer Edition org, and you can try out stuff in that. And yeah, I think I'm good. This is me again, and my QR code. You can reach out to me, and yeah, I think I've spoken a lot.
Thank you
So
so much, Rohan. I mean, that was impressive and very insightful. Just keeping in mind the time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We truly appreciate you taking the time to be part of this insightful conversation on how AI is transforming the customer experience. We hope that you have found the session valuable and walked away with fresh ideas and inspiration. Huge thanks again to our incredible guest, Rohan Singh, for sharing his expertise and shedding light on how businesses can harness AI to deliver smarter, more personalized experiences. This is Khyati Mehta, and it was an absolute pleasure hosting this episode with you. Stay connected, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and keep innovating.